Hellmann's and Best Foods are brand names that are used for the same line of mayonnaise and other food products. The Hellmann's brand is sold in the United States east of the Rocky Mountains, and also in Latin America, Europe, Australia, the Middle East, Canada and South Africa. The Best Foods brand is sold in the United States west of the Rocky Mountains, and also in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. Hellmann's and Best Foods are marketed in a similar way. Their logos and websites resemble one another, and they have the same English slogan, "Bring out the best." Both brands were previously sold by the US-based Best Foods Corporation, which also sold several other food products in addition to Hellmann's and Best Foods mayonnaise. Best Foods, known as CPC International before 1997, was acquired by Unilever in 2000. History. In 1903 Richard Hellmann (1876–1971) emigrated from Wachau, Prussia, to New York City, where in August 1904 he married Margaret Vosburg, whose parents owned a delicatessen. In mid-1905 he opened his own delicatessen at 490 Columbus Avenue, where he developed his first ready-made mayonnaise, dished out in small amounts to customers. It became so popular that he began selling it in bulk to other stores, constantly improving the recipe to make it avoid spoilage longer. In 1913, after continuing sales success, he built a factory to produce his mayonnaise in even greater quantities, and began selling it on September 1 under the name Hellmann's Blue Ribbon Mayonnaise, seeing sales greatly increase after switching from hotel-size large stone jars to customer-size clear glass jars that could be reused for home canning after selling them a rubber ring for 1 penny. In May 1914 he simplified the label from 3 ribbons to a single blue ribbon, and trademarked it along with the name, "Blue Ribbon Mayonnaise." In 1915 he sold his store and opened a small mayonnaise factory at 120 Lawrence Street, now West 126th, in Manhattan. By the end of the year he had a larger factory at 495 497th Steinway Street in Long Island City. In February 1916 the company was incorporated as Richard Hellmann, Inc., after which he briefly tried other products, such as horseradish and pumpernickel bread before deciding to concentrate on mayonnaise and expand distribution outside the New York area. In November 1919, he licensed John Behrman to make the mayonnaise in Chicago. In 1920, the New York Tribune asked 3 chefs to rate commercial salad dressing brand, and they voted Hellmann's mayonnaise the best, noting that it had more oil 85% than any other salad dressing they tested. This helped to boost sales. On July 29, 1920, Hellmann became a U.S. citizen. Later that year, Margaret Hellmann died, and on May 11, 1922, he married second wife Nina Maxwell, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. William J. Maxwell. In 1922, after sales of the mayonnaise were launched in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Hellmann began building a larger 5-story factory at 3408 Northern Boulevard in Long Island City. While honeymooning in San Francisco, California, Hellmann decided to open a plant there too, setting up an office and soliciting salesmen. In 1922, the first Hellmann's mayonnaise cookbook was published by Behrman in Chicago. While Hellmann's mayonnaise thrived on the U.S. East Coast, selling $15 million a year by 1927 with $1 million in profits, the California company Postum Foods, later Best Foods, introduced their own mayonnaise, Best Foods Mayonnaise, which became popular on the West Coast, and was operating a major plant in San Francisco. In August 1927 Postum Foods bought the Hellmann's brand, allowing Hellmann to retire. By then both brands of mayonnaise had such commanding market shares in their respective halves of the country that the company decided that both brands and recipes be preserved along with territories. To this day, Best Foods mayonnaise is sold west of the Rocky Mountains, specifically, in and west of Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. Hellmann's is sold east of the Rockies, specifically, in and east of the states of North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. In 1955 Best Foods acquired Rosefield Packing Co., makers of Skippy peanut butter. In 1958 Best Foods was bought by Corn Products Refining Company to form Corn Products Company, which in 1969 became CPC International Inc. Hellmann's mayonnaise arrived in the United Kingdom in 1961 and by the late 1980s had over 50% market share. Prior to 1960, Hellmann's and Best Foods were advertised both in the same advertisement, which pointed out that it is known as Hellmann's in the East and Best Foods in the West. Around 1968, the Best Foods brand added the blue ribbon from the Hellmann's brand, making them more like sister products. Since 2007, both brands have exactly the same design. In 1997, CPC International split into two companies, Best Foods, becoming its own company once more and also including the Hellmann's brand, and Corn Product International. Best Foods was acquired by Unilever in 2000. Recipe and marketing issues. When Best Foods acquired the Hellmann's brand, it decided to preserve the respective recipes for both mayonnaises. However, at least as recently as June 2003, the recipes were almost identical. From the company's FAQs at the time, the products are basically the same. Both trademarks evolved simultaneously, Hellmann's in the East and Best Foods in the West. Taste preferences vary, some people find that Best Foods mayonnaise is slightly more tangy. Today, the two products are made in the same plant. Both labels contain the same ingredients in the same relative quantity order: soybean oil, water, whole eggs and egg yolks, vinegar, salt, sugar, lemon juice, sorbic acid, calcium disodium EDTA, and natural flavors. Best Foods may contain more lemon juice, though the ingredients rank ordered by volume are the same as Hellmann's. Still, the fine print in the company's marketing and websites state that Hellmann's is known as Best Foods west of the Rockies and Best Foods is known as Hellmann's east of the Rockies. Maintaining the separate identities of both brands in the USA poses some unique challenges. Marketing campaigns for both products are identical, however, Hellmann's and Best Foods must make separate television commercials for each product and cannot make use of nationwide media to market their product. The Spanish slogan is "Haz una cara." Hellmann's, roughly translated to "make a Hellmann's face." In Brazil, it is Hellmann's, a verdadera mayonnaise, Hellmann's, the true mayonnaise. See also: German inventors and discoverers.